During the late 1970s and early 1980s, Boney M established itself as one of the most captivating live acts in the world. Their concerts were not just musical performances. They were full-scale productions that merged precise choreography, elaborate costumes, synchronized lighting, and relentless energy. As disco fever spread globally, Boney M became one of its most visual and dynamic ambassadors. Every live performance was designed to leave an impression, and the crowds responded with unrestrained enthusiasm. Boney M was a project masterminded by German producer Frank Farian, who created the group in 1976. While the studio recordings featured his own vocals and those of Liz Mitchell and Marcia Barrett, it was the live performances that made the group a spectacle. Bobby Farrell, the group's dancer and frontman, was known for his erratic and highly animated stage presence. Even though he didn't sing on the studio recordings, his live presence electrified audiences and became a core element of the group's identity. Audiences at Boney M concerts were exposed to something they hadn't seen before. The group performed tracks like Rasputin, Ma Baker, Sunny, Daddy Cool, and Rivers of Babylon with relentless intensity. Farrell's acrobatic dance moves, combined with coordinated routines from the other members, transformed each show into a choreographed production. Their performances were especially effective in non-English-speaking countries where spectacle mattered just as much as sound. The band's international success meant they performed for diverse crowds across Europe, Latin America, the Middle East, Asia, and Africa. Their ability to engage crowds without relying solely on lyrical content gave them a major advantage. Boney M's music was built on rhythmic repetition, catchy hooks, and layered harmonies, which translated perfectly to large arenas and stadiums. The group's stage setup often included dramatic entrances, lighting effects, and costuming that elevated each appearance. During peak years, they could sell out venues in countries like the Soviet Union, India, and Nigeria, markets that were typically hard to crack for Western pop acts. In the USSR, for example, Boney M became one of the few Western groups to receive widespread radio play and official government approval. When they performed in Moscow in 1978, the reaction was overwhelming, with audiences cheering, clapping, and dancing throughout the set, a rare occurrence in that environment. Their presence helped set new expectations for what live international performances could achieve. In countries across Africa, their unique fusion of Eurodisco with Caribbean-inspired rhythms created a sound that resonated strongly with local musical tastes. Crowds in places like South Africa and Nigeria treated the band like royalty. There are accounts of entire arenas singing along to Rivers of Babylon, with little regard for language barriers or lyrical accuracy. The power of the live beat, the movement, and the visual spectacle created a universal connection between artist and audience. Despite not all members contributing vocals in the studio, each played a crucial role live. Liz Mitchell and Marcia Barrett carried the vocal performance, while Maisie Williams and Bobby Farrell completed the visual and kinetic impact. When the group was on stage, they operated as a unit, maintaining high intensity for the entire duration of the performance. It wasn't uncommon for concertgoers to remain standing throughout, clapping and dancing from start to finish. Boney M also leveraged television appearances to mimic the live performance experience. Their presence on programs like Top of the Pops and various European variety shows further demonstrated their ability to control a stage and energize a crowd, even within the constraints of TV formats. The group's visual strategy was so effective that audiences who had never seen them live still felt they had experienced the magic. Their live success wasn't just based on theatrics. It was backed by a clear understanding of audience psychology. Each show was paced to maximize crowd participation. Setlists built tension with slower numbers before erupting into high-energy hits. The band members used gestures and movement to involve the crowd, turning passive spectators into active participants. as disco declined in the early 1980s and the original lineup changed. The demand for Boney M's live performances gradually diminished in Western countries. However, they remained a top-tier attraction in parts of Eastern Europe, Asia, and South America for years. Even after the original group's dissolution, spin-off acts continued to tour under the Boney M name, largely because of the enduring appeal of their live show format. Few disco acts were able to convert their studio success into live dominance the way Boney M did. Their concerts were unpredictable, loud, colorful, and intense. Each performance became a cultural moment in whatever city they entered. When Boney M performed live, people didn't just watch, they reacted. They danced, they sang, and they remembered,